Hello everyone. Today we are responding to 4 comedy bad reviews of Edinburgh. So Kirsten and I were having a little read on a very well-known review website and we came across a few deliberately funny bad reviews of Edinburgh that we wanted to share with you. So I thought what we'd do is we'd take these bad reviews, we'd go to the sites and I would be as unbiased as possible, review their review. We thought we'd share them with you, go have a look at where they're talking about and see if they're right. So today we will be visiting. So I have a lot of hill walking to do. So here we are, up the top of Canlton Hill. Let's have a look at the first review. Not sure where the views are, but they aren't here. It's not worth the climb to get up there, and then the views aren't as good as you'd get from Edinburgh Castle. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, apart from, you know, the view when you're up here of the National Monument behind, I mean, apart from that, what is there? I mean, on this side, all you've got is this view of the north of Edinburgh, looking out over the new town, over the Forth, over to the Kingdom of Fife. And then, when you really look at it, you've just got the Forth bridges over there in the distance. I mean, it's not that spectacular. It's just a view of half the city, really, when you think about it. But that's only one side of the view. In truth, we should really look at what you get from the other sides as well. I suppose when you come over this side, again, you've only really got, you know, the Forth there looking out over to East Lothian, and then you've got, you know, Holyrood Palace there, if you're counting palaces, and then you've got Arthur's Seat and Salisbury Crags that way, and then I suppose you could look over the old town of Edinburgh, then with Edinburgh Castle over there. But I mean, if you don't count that view there, then I suppose, yeah, there's not much. And if I was really going to argue for Canlton Hill as well, I could say that there's the Nelson Monument here that you could, you know, take a climb up and have a look from up there as well. And there's the old observatory turned art gallery if you really want to, you know, argue your point. Plus, if you look out this way, you've kind of got one thing that the view from the castle hasn't got, and that's the view of the castle. In fairness, I am biased, because you know I love Edinburgh and I'm always going to fight for it. And if you really want to argue, I suppose you could say there's not really much up here to see or do apart from the things you can do, and the view, you know, it's not as good as the castle apart from the view of the castle and the Forth and Arthur's Seat. But they did use that view in the Eurovision film with Will Ferrel a lot.
In my hometown.
Okay, in fairness, I was maybe not completely unbiased with that one, but I promise with the rest I will be unbiased and I will just, you know, tell you about it and leave it at that, and I won't argue against it at all, I promise. Review 2, Princess Street Gardens. Is that it? Sorry to post a negative one, but we walked to take a look at the gardens, but there wasn't much to see. The size of a football pitch. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's the Scott Monument there. There's a view of the castle and the National Gallery and the Royal Mile. You can kind of see as well, and Princess Street. And I suppose if you just count that bit, I suppose that's kind of the size of a football pitch. Obviously, if you take away this bit here and all round there and the cafe there. So being completely unbiased, I suppose they're right, that is kind of the size of a football pitch, and If you take away the Scott Monument, the view of the castle, the Royal Mile, Princess Street, the cafe, the National Gallery, although they did put an S at the end of garden, because it is Princess Street Gardens, not Princess Street Garden. So again, trying to stay completely unbiased, there is the chance that they've came in here and forgot the other part over here. And yeah, then once you get in here, okay, there is the flower clock. I suppose they must have missed that. There's then this other spectacular view of Edinburgh Castle. They must have missed that. And then all these part of the gardens here. There's the Ross Bandstand underneath the castle, and in fairness, that doesn't look much now, but in its defence, it's getting completely rebuilt, so in a little while that'll look better. And I suppose there's, you know, there's all the monuments. And there's the Ross Fountain. In fairness, it's got this round it right now for cleaning, but then there's that view again, and of course then there's, you know, there's places to sit and have a drink and relax. So then, yeah, trying to stay completely unbiased. Again, if you just count the other side, which is roughly about the side of a football pitch, and you don't count the Scott Monument, the cafes, the view of the Royal Mile, the view of the castle, and you don't count going to the other part of the gardens, which is far larger. It's got the Ross Fountain, it's got all the different war monuments, it's got the Ross Bandstand and all the space for everyone to sit and relax and have a drink, then yeah, it's just a garden the size of a football pitch. Alright, okay, that's two, and being completely honest, maybe I've not been completely unbiased, but I promise with this next one, completely unbiased, I promise. Next up, the Grassmarket. This is awful. There is no grass for sale here. Be aware of the name, it's a lie. My children were very disappointed, as we were really excited to see how the Scottish to Kentucky bluegrass, but instead only to find pubs and restaurants of amazing but grassless character. Disappointed. I mean, there's no grass on the ground. However, they're absolutely right. There is some incredible bars and restaurants here. I mean, just in this first section, there's definitely a couple. There's this one, and this one, this one, and this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then if you head to the second half of it, because the second half's got quite a lot of stuff in it as well. I mean, there's this one, and this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, not to mention all the other sides of the road. So actually I have to say that review's absolutely right. I mean, they said there's lots of restaurants and bars that are really good, and they've just said that there's no grass, and I mean, I don't know if I can argue with that. I mean, no grass. Next up, Greyfriars Kirkyard. I thought this was quite a boring trip. This place is simply a graveyard. There's no haunting, just rumours, and it's probably based on the sad history behind the graveyard. Yeah, it's just a graveyard. I mean, obviously it's got a very sad history. I mean, I don't know very many graveyards with happy histories. They tend to lean on the sad side. I mean, it's got the grave of John Gray, who was the owner of one of the most well-loved and renowned animals in Scottish history. And despite what William Shatner's show on the History Channel says, I'm no historian, but that is, you know, that animal's grave as well, of Greyfriars Bobby, the world-renowned dog who wouldn't leave his owner's grave. And I suppose as well, there's still the remnants of all these sort of things, where the body snatchers who try to steal the bodies to sell to the medical schools to make money. So they put all those sort of things in to protect the graves. you know the kind of thing I mean, where they had to put cages over the graves to protect them, or even whole stone walls over the graves to protect them. You know, the normal everyday stuff that you get. And I suppose there is the grave of Ebenezer Scroggie, who was the man that Charles Dickens mistakenly read the gravestone and ended up writing A Christmas Carol thinking it was Ebenezer Scrooge. There's that. Of course, there's the Flodden Wall, the remnants of the wall that used to surround the whole city of Edinburgh, keeping it safe from intrusion. I mean, there's that's still there. And I suppose as well there's this one, which is, the grave of Tom Riddle, which is where J.K. Rowling got the inspiration for the name of Lord Voldemort, as well as other graves with other names of Harry Potter characters. I mean, there is that. So, yeah, again, I suppose that review's correct. I mean, it is just a graveyard with a very sad history and all those other bits. So there you have it, guys. 4 deliberately comedy bad reviews of Edinburgh by various people with a little response. That was fun. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to leave a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. You have no idea, genuinely you have no idea how much it helps support the channel. I hope you are all happy and healthy and safe out there wherever you are, but till next time, bye humans.